You all ready for something satisfying? Ah, yes. Well, hello there viewers, and welcome to yet another episode here on the Shamblecraft server. It is episode 53, and you join me once again at the Guardian Temple that we have been working on for the last few episodes. And we have now reached, the fun bit or the terrifying bit, depending on whether you're doing it or watching it. So, as you can see behind me, and as you remember from the previous episode, we have now finished dividing the temple area into squares. And now comes the fun bit. I pressed F5 once too many. Now comes the fun bit, draining it. And luckily, as some of you might remember from previously, Micnus has lent us a bunch of sponges, almost 2 stacks worth. So now comes the tricky bit of placing the sponges strategically so that the water is drained away. And that is something that is probably going to kill me many, many times. But it needs doing. It is a integral part of this. So, I don't think I'm going to try and postpone this even more than I want to. Let's start this, and I'll keep you posted as to how it goes. Well, okay then, it's been a couple of hours, but as you can tell behind me, we have now successfully cleared the water. So if I fly up here, you will now see, you can see the roof of the Guardian Temple. There is no more water other than the last few bits that are purposefully left there. So now all that remains... We have now drained all the water, and all that remains now is the task of, first of all, putting the lid on the glass box, which we actually need to do first. And once we've put the lid on the glass box, we can remove the sand. So the first thing we're going to have to do is actually remove the top 2 layers of sand inside the square so that we can put the glass lid on, and then we can remove the final sand barriers, and hopefully my plan has worked, and we should then have a nicely encased glass box that we can then continue work on, while we will not have any guardian spawn on top, since it's only going to be a 1 block height. And so far it looks like this is working, because I have not, since I finished draining this a couple of minutes ago on stream, I have not seen any guardians spawn other than the very few areas where I have sort of allowed for spawning to happen. So that is very good progress. About 4.5 hours. It took a lot less than expected, but very good progress nonetheless. So I am going to clean this place up a bit. I'm going to grab the glass, and hopefully when you see me next, the lid will be on and the sand will be going away. Well, okay, viewers, it is the next day, and we have almost finished covering up the lid. So luckily I've had Wolfie helping me out here. Thank you very much, Wolfie, for the help. And with that, let me actually fly into the air and see. I think we got one left, and after that all we really have to do is pull away all the sand and then sort of adjust and fill in the bits of glass that we haven't filled in, because right now we have basically filled the glass in inside the squares, meaning that once we now pull away at the sand, we're still gonna have all the gaps between the glass left. However, I think that at this point we can now safely... let's find a way we can go down. I think we can go down here. We should now be able to safely go down like this and do the good old torch trick. Except that one doesn't go far enough down. But if we now do this, it can be quick enough. There we go. There we go. And then we can pull away the block and all the sand will fall down and automatically break, and we will save a lot of time. So let's see if we can... We're struggling to do it on that one. There we go. Boink. And then down here, what we're actually going to do, we're going to fill this with glass. So this is actually going to be glass as well, like that. And yeah, you can basically tell what we're going for here. So basically, pull away the bottom block, place a torch, and profit. That is pretty much it, really. We actually have some guardians spawning, so we might have to look into that. We have to drain the bottom of it as well. But as far as I know, there shouldn't be guardians spawning at the bottom here, but only time will tell. But yeah, that is basically the glass lid in place. So thank you very much, Wolfie, for helping out with that. I'm going to keep tinkering away with this, and hopefully the next time you see me, all the sand will be gone and we will be ready to start decorating this place. Well, okay, viewers, it doesn't look like much when I'm standing like this with the glass and the water blocking the view, but if I could take a couple of steps back... Oh, you can see that a lot has been done. So we are steadily working away here, trying to get all the sand away. And luckily, Wolfie is helping me out. That really helps. So thank you, Wolfie, for helping out, because I save a lot of time by not having to do this alone. And also using the torch trick really helps and speeds things up. We've actually only been doing the sand here for about... I don't know, maybe we've been going half an hour, and as you can see, we've already cleared a very sizable chunk of it. We can see that Wolfie is testing the staff channel. But yeah, this is the progress. Hopefully, this is going to be... this is going to turn out pretty cool once it's done. We're going to have to remove the conduit because we don't need that anymore, and that is going to be placed underneath instead, as we're going to make some sort of aquarium down below. But yeah, just wanted to give you a little update so you could see how this looks along the way. As I said in the last episode and previously in this episode, I really wish we had replay mod so we could get a replay of this, because I think a time lapse would look really cool. But I mean, for now, just updates will have to do. So I'm going to keep working, and hopefully the next time you see me, we're done removing all. Well, okay then, viewers, you join me again at the front here, and don't worry, this is not the same scene as I showed you a couple of minutes ago once again, because there has been more development, and if I now step back, it is done. As you can see, all the glass is in, all the sand is gone, I cannot jump up here. There we go. So yeah, now we have virtually everything ready. There's a couple of blocks here and there that needs tidying. I need to figure out what to do with that corner if I want to keep it. We have the underside of the farm that we haven't dealt with yet. That's a project for later. So that the only thing that really remains to do now is, well, do I have glass on me? I do. What we're going to do now, we're going to go up here. I'm going to use that one. And see, it looks like Wolfie gets what I want to do. And now that we're on top here, it is time to remove the sand barrier so that the water will float on top of it. So if we now do this, the sea should float in. Will it float long enough to cover it? I honestly don't know, but it's going to be exciting to see. You can see the water rushing in on the voxel map, and by the looks of it, this is actually going to work. We've got Wolfie there. Who's going to make it to the corner first? Yes, we won. And there we go. There we go. That's pretty cool, and that's pretty well hidden, actually. I like it. Getting some screenshots there. Now for the fun bit of entering and seeing how it looks. So Wolfie after me, clearly. So heading down to the bottom here. And look at that. It's like you're underwater, but when you jump out here, you're not. But one thing I can tell straight away is that, oh my god, we need to light this place up, because this is gonna get dangerous. All of that natural light disappearing just from one single block of water. And by the looks of it so far, my theory appears to be correct, because I am not seeing any guardians spawning, which is a good sign, because that means that having a 1 block high layer of water is spawn proof for guardians, as I concluded that it should be. So that's good news. That means we don't have to deal with that. And it also looks like, so far, that we're not seeing any spawns underneath either. We are actually out of tool. Oh, no, we have almost a stack left. That also means that the underside of the Guardian Temple, which I was also slightly worried that would become a hotbed for spawns, is also not spawning anything. And if you look at this now, you can see that looks very... Well, it doesn't look as cool because of the... It doesn't look as cool because of the various torches around, but I think this looks pretty good. And I'm wondering, are other mobs not spawning in here because it's a Guardian Temple? Because, come to think of it, I actually haven't, even when we were working and it got pretty dark at times, I haven't actually seen anything spawn. You're welcome. And thanks for the help. So that is pretty much it. We can take away this little glass pillar that we used to get up. And yeah, that is pretty cool. So we now have a bunch of shulker boxes of sand outside there. And we have Oh, and we have mob spawns under there. And now the very interesting thing is, can we manage to make some sort of guardian farm inside here? And the problem right now is that we do not have a spawnable space that's big enough for the guardians. But we have had, if I'm not mistaken, we have had a couple of guardians falling through here, but I don't know if they've actually died. So that is going to be the next thing to try out. Can we get that thing to work? I'm also going to be taking down this smelter and moving that elsewhere. I think the thing we really need to decide now is, do we want 2 of these guardian farms, like 1 on each side, or do we just want the 1? And what do we want to do with the rest of this place? Because if I go back out here, I'm just going to grab some food first. It is now night time, which is one of the reasons it's very dark. But if I... There we go. If I fly around here, you can see that we have a lot of space. And one of the spaces we do have that I haven't really done anything about yet, but I did briefly touch upon previously, is the underside. Because the underside of this thing, which is currently, by the sounds of it, some sort of mob farm, the underside of this is something I actually have a plan for. What I want to do under there is to make a underwater garden / aquarium, where you have a yard or a garden in the middle, and then you have an aquarium surrounding it, so that like the outermost blocks of the entire guardian temple are going to be waterlogged, and they're going to be filled with fish, because they are so low that guardians won't spawn there, as we've seen right now, because I know there's water underneath there and we're not seeing any spawns, so that's good. So yeah, I am going to be tinkering some with that, trying to figure out how I want it to look and how I want to do it. And once that is taken care of, hopefully I will be back with you and we can get started on it. But before I do that, I think priority number 1 is going to be to get this terrible excuse for a guardian farm, which is the thing that kickstarted this project, working. So I'm going to tinker with that, and by the time you see me again, hopefully the guardian farm works. I mean, honestly, I'm a bit underwhelmed still. But I have a theory as to why I'm not seeing any more spawns. You see, ever since we cleared this place, we've noticed that we are now getting a lot of mob spawns underground. And I think that... And these were mob spawns that we weren't seeing before. So I think the issue right now is that everything going on underwater is basically just holding up the mob cap. So I think what I need to do in order to actually get this to work, because now it functions in theory, it just takes very, very long to kill them. So I might have to do something there. But now it produces guardians. Let's just put it that way. It now produces guardians. There are now guardians flowing out of the different places where I've put water and into the chamber itself. So all I need to do now is figure out a way to do the murder. But I think in order to get this to spawn properly and work the way it should, I mean, you can hear the sounds. You can hear the mob sounds, and I'm fairly certain that these are not coming from outside. I mean, I'm gonna head outside and have a look, but I am fairly certain. As you can see, there's no mob spawns. This is where the guardian farm is, right here, underneath here, and that's where I was hearing it. And I'm not hearing anything now. I can hear it here. And under there is only water. I've actually been down and had a look. So there's no mobs underneath the main structure. It's all water. So what we need to do, we need to basically tunnel down a bit, find the caves, and we need to light it up so we can unload the mob cap, because, I mean, especially if I go back about there, you can see the sheer amount of mobs that's currently loaded underneath me, and I think right now that's basically holding up the entire mob cap. So, yeah, I am going to get some torches, head into the caves, and hopefully that is going to help. Well, okay then, viewers, I have now been on a little caving adventure lighting things up, and as you can tell, it is already helping. Now, I've only been standing here for about a minute, but already we have far more spawns than we had in total earlier. Now, this isn't the biggest sort of area, and I think I would probably do very well if I expanded the area a bit, but then again, I'm not looking for a farm to make a ton of things. I'm just, basically, I want a little farm to take advantage of the fact that I have a guardian temple. So it looks like we have the spawn issue sorted, so all that we have to do now is figure a way to kill them, because right now they're just dropping down, and I mean, silly me thought, hey, guardians are sea creatures, so they're gonna die once they get out of water. I was mistaken. So that is basically the next plan, find a way to murderize these things, and yeah, hopefully get their drops. And after that, we need to look into the things to put on the outside here, and now you sort of start to get a feeling for how this looks during daytime. So you can see it's not as dark as it was, but it's still pretty dark. So I'm thinking we're going to want to do something here that will actually improve the lighting situation. We actually have a mob. I bet you he spawned over here, because this probably doesn't count as a guardian temple. Strange. Well, anyway, I am thinking that we want to figure that out. But we have already spent a lot of time on this guardian project in this episode, and I'm thinking that now is a good time to take a little break for it, because as you might remember from previous episode, we have another project that we're also working on that is taking a bit of time, and that is the terraforming job over at Quincas. So I am gonna head over there, and yeah, I'll catch you over there and we can continue work. Right then, brief stop at the post office because I wanted to return all the shulker boxes of sand to Johnny, and as I came in here I realised, good grief, there are so many people here now. Like, when me and Sammy built this, I think we had the bottom 2 rows. I don't even think maybe we had the bottom 2 rows. I think only we had the bottom row. And now on the short sides there we have 4 rows, and even then it's there's not really that much room. So it is amazing to see just how many people we now have playing on here. But anyway, we're going to take these shulker boxes of sand and return to Johnny. Those still have glass in them, so I'm going to have to take those later. But yeah, there you have it. That is it. Man, it's really, really big. But yeah, I am going to head over to Quincas' place, and we're going to do what we were supposed to do. Okay, we have now made it back to Quincas' base, and we can see the door is still open, and we are going to make our way down to a familiar location, and that is right here. So as you remember from the previous episode, we were working on the south side, which is the one over here, so I might have to do a little bit of flying to get there. And I can tell that the grass is now spread nice and evenly, meaning we can actually continue working on this. So I ran low on materials last time. I've now gone to my base and provided some more materials, and Mykonos has of course also said that I can just grab whatever I need from the storage system outside. So we should now hopefully have what I need. Apologies if my voice is a bit sore. It is in the morning, and I always sound very groggy in the morning. But sadly, the mornings are the best times to work on this place, since it's usually very peaceful in the mornings. There's actually 4 people online now, and we have a new member who's working on getting online as well. So it's actually a surprising amount of people online for this time of day. But yeah, I think I'm just going to keep working here. I think a nice goal would be, can we manage to finish at least the bottom half in this episode? Because I feel like this has already taken way too long. And now that I have some good ideas, I feel like I should take advantage of that and just get it over with. So yeah, I am going to be working on this, and hopefully the next time you see me, I feel like I've said that a ton this episode, hopefully the next time you see me, we will be close to done with the bottom half. Well, okay then, viewers, you rejoin me here in the familiar location, and I come bearing good news. So, with Mykonos even giving his approval, the bottom half of the terraforming job is now mostly done. We have now put in all of the mountains and all of the stone, with the exception of some bits here and there. Hello, Mykonos. I feel like Mykonos is flexing. Either that, or this is like the world's most low-key disco. Anyway, so as you can see, most of the stone is in. It's not 100% final. There's still some detailing to be done here and there. You can see the scaffolding hasn't been taken down. But the rough outline of the entire bottom section should now be done. And what we decided to do, per Mykonos' request, is that we have now removed all of the torches and all of the lighting. We even had to go behind and remove some of the torches behind the stone to not have lighting glitches through the glass floor. And we have now carpeted up basically every single spawnable space in the bottom half here. So we still have some mobs spawning on the scaffolding, but that is going to be taken care of. And of course we also need to do the top half. But now basically everything up until that dirt level there should be about 99% done. And if we jump down here, you can see that it is now looking much more like a sort of natural chasm. I have intentionally left some caves here and there. I've left the torches in there since they can't be seen from up top. We have also left, there's some lighting in this cave over here, and that's because that's where I keep my supplies still. But other than that, this section here is now pretty much done. So what remains now is to do the top half, where I'm still doing some tinkering with ideas. Yeah, that is pretty much it, and I appear to be on fire. But yeah, I'm very happy with it. It's taken me way too long to do, but I am pretty happy with it. One of the things that needs to be done still is we need to put the waterfalls in, but I'm going to do that absolutely last, since playing with water here could possibly create some issues. So I'm going to put all the water and all of that stuff in at the very end. But yeah, that is pretty much it. I think that is where I'm going to have to say that is the end of this episode. It's already a couple of days delayed because I had some real life stuff going on that I needed to take care of. Nothing dramatic. It's just stuff that needed to be taken care of. But yeah, because of that, I haven't really been able to do much the last couple of days. So because of that, this episode is sadly slightly delayed, and also maybe a tad shorter than the previous one. But that is pretty much it for now. Stay tuned for the next episode of Shamblecraft. That should hopefully be with you in not too long. Also, psst, psst, I might be working on something else that will be with you and hopefully not too long. Psst, psst. But anyway, that's it for now. I've been rambling for a while already. I'm going to call it a night. Thank you for watching this episode, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye-bye!